What is your favorite airplane? It can be airport or airplane. I was going to ask what you did on New Year's, but I feel like none of us did anything exciting. So
No, did nothing exciting on New Year's. Best airport story. So it was actually this year. I showed up at the Pittsburgh airport after the Fall Classic, and I realized that Delta was hosting a tailgate outside one of its gates. It was adorable. The Delta staff had wings and hot dogs and burgers just all kind of set up under this tent outside a gate. So I had wings with the Delta crew.
Oh my gosh. I
It was
thought
fun.
you meant it was like an employee thing. You just get to
No, it was for
join in.
customers. They were like, "Come
Wow.
on, it's free. Come on in and have
Sick.
a hot dog, have some wings." It was great.
That's so
Flying Delta for
welcoming.
the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Wow.
I only fly Delta.
And me and that Sky Club.
No, I've never been in the Sky Club. I got tossed out of the Sky Club.
The Sky Club, isn't that just the thing? Oh no, I'm thinking of Sky Miles. Never mind.
No.
I was gonna
Is
say,
that
isn't that
Delta?
thing? Sky Miles is you can just join it for free. It's like to keep track of.
I
the
have
miles.
Sky
Oh, yeah,
Miles.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Do you have an airport story? Or do you want me to go?
Well, I mean, I have a few airport stories. Like, I mean, I don't want to just jump right over the fact that we all were at Dinglefest on New Year's Eve. Like,
Yeah.
we had something to do.
Until 4 p.m. And then I went home and ate cake from Sam's Club.
Laura
really
got
good.
Laura got us some NA stuff that we like, and she made spaghetti squash with asparagus and goat cheese. That was pretty much it.
Yeah,
Was
these are beautiful nights.
Better or
you guys
worse
had.
than the hot dog you had at the Delta stand?
Worse. I love hot dogs.
Well, the thing is, you got to appreciate
I love
where you
hot-
can get a hot dog these days because you can't get them everywhere.
Yeah.
She also made French onion pot roast
Ooh,
last night, and that was
that
friggin'
sounds
awesome.
really good.
Seriously. Well, I mean, we did talk about one airport story when we had Jody Horak on, and that was being in
Oh.
the two Port Albany
Meeting
airport
in sync.
meeting
Yeah.
in sync, like while
Jody
they're en route to their
Jody not knowing who they were.
like en route to their massive fame.
That's a good
But
one.
like, so I hadn't like ridden on a lot of airplanes growing up because we drove to Florida every year.
Okay.
So my airplane trips were always like with hockey teams or like to Lake Placid. But one year on the way home from Lake Placid, it was like the 4th of July. And so we were in the air. We got to see all these fireworks and stuff, but there was like a lot of.
Oh, that's cool.
It was super fun. There were like 16 of us from Minn Kota coming home. And then there was like really bad turbulence, which was like equally scaring as many people as it was thrilling to some people. And I was one of the people who loved it. But there were like 16 girls on this. It was like not that packed of a flight, but there was so much turbulence. It felt like you were literally on Excalibur.
What year was this?
It had to be like 95.
Okay.
96. And so I just like remember just all these people like with their arms in the air, like cheering and screaming like they were on the roller coaster. And then all these
have
other
never-
people like totally panicking.
I was gonna say I've never been on an
What?
airplane where people actually liked the term.
I think we had to do something about it because A, there's all these like parentless young children
Younger.
on the plane. And then B, like it was such incredible turbulence that like most people thought we were going to die.
And some people were
So you had to just
cheering that
pretend
on.
it
And
was
so
fun.
this is our like an avoidance tactic. Like if I just pretend I'm on Excalibur, we'll make this 2.5 hours manageable.
Yeah, that's fair. Good. It's a good reason to make it sound fun.
Yeah, but I just remember like for some reason I really enjoy like being on an airplane when everybody kind of like engages in some sort of cheers. So like have you ever flown from
She likes
the
the plane
United
clappers.
States to Mexico?
That's my worst nightmare.
As soon as you get over the U.S.-Mexico border in the air, the plane erupts. It's amazing. There's like it's like one of those feelings where you're like in an overtime hockey game and someone scores and the place goes apeshit. Like this is what happens like in March at 6:30 a.m. when you're on that first Sun Country flight to Mexico.
The first Sun Country flight to Mexico. Do you want to fill us in on what
The
that
people
first,
go crazy right at because they're all like 3 margaritas in by then.
Yeah.
And
Heading
so,
to
like,
Mexico.
Yeah, we're like 20 minutes from your stop.
Okay, I guess I could get on board with that, but I've
It's
seen
just
those.
a fun feeling.
I know, I was
I've seen
gonna
those
say,
videos of people like they start singing and
like
play.
together. Yeah.
My worst nightmare is
Isn't
somebody
that so
busting
feel-good?
out an acoustic guitar on a plane and just starting. I've seen the video of. I
would
think they
eat
were
that shit up.
a
wedding
worship
singer.
band.
Yes. What if there's like an engagement or something?
Worst
Like,
nightmare.
Oh my God, I
That's
just
Worst
like,
nightmare.
Oh.
No singing, no playing instruments. Everybody shut up.
Leave me alone. Actually, my worst nightmare is always the person that sits next to you and just does not stop talking. It's one thing if it's like during landing and takeoff and they're very nice. I've had like some old people that are like super curious about your life and they just ask you questions. Yeah. Very cute. You talk to me for the whole thing.
You got to have better boundaries, though.
I'm putting headphones on.
At some point, you've got to look at them and be like, we're not friends anymore.
Just put your headphones
I've got some shit I was planning on doing.
Put your headphones in, turn on the little TV on the headset.
Yeah, put on like the most awkward movie possible.
My favorite airplane story, though, is when I was moving to California to go live with my brother. And I am like a very family-centered person. So I was with my family in Florida because we just went on my dad's business trip. And I had to say bye to them. So I was leaving I didn't know how long I was going to live there, so I didn't know how long I was going to see him. I was crying. I was going through security, just like sobbing, like by myself. I also had never been on a plane by myself before, but I've been on a lot of planes. I wasn't like worried about it, but I was by myself. And I get up to the part where they like check you, and they told me that they needed to pat me down, like full body.
Okay.
Nice.
While I was sobbing. So it was just like this really weird picture of me being pat down. And then I got on the plane and like an hour in, I had a layover in Texas and my layover was only like 2 hours or something. It was kind of short. And halfway through my plane ride, they were like, is there a doctor on board? It was like the classic thing where they're like looking for a doctor, and I was like, "Oh my god, something's happening!
Now
Someone's gonna die!" Like
now it's happening.
It was like 2 rows behind me. I think she was just having a panic attack personally because I've had one of those. It sounded like it, like she was feeling
hyperventilating,
like her heart was getting fast. Whatever, they figured it out, but they had to land the plane in like. I don't know where we were. It was like Louisiana. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Geographically.
If you're going from Florida to California, you would fly over Louisiana at one point.
And then they had to do like the full landing takeoff process. And I like just made it to Texas before my next plane. But I was like, this is the worst. I don't mind planes, but it was like just a bunch of series of things where I was like, this is the worst day of my life.
This is not going well. Travel days are super stressful.
They are. And then when your plane has to make an unscheduled stop, and I thought some lady was going to die, and I was by myself for the first time, I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. There was a time.
There was a time
where one of my kids puked the whole airplane ride.
Oh.
I threw up on a plane.
That was a shitty trip.
I also sat across the aisle from Carl Gehring.
Who's that?
UND goalie.
I'm sorry.
National champion Carl Gehring.
Did you say hi to him?
No, I was terrified.
We're not trying to talk to people on planes.
Oh, yeah.
Carl wasn't trying to talk to me on a plane.
I did sit in front of a lady that talked for the whole time on a plane, and she was sitting in between. She was probably like 50, and she was sitting in between two like 19-year-olds, and she was hitting on them the whole time. And she asked them to meet her in a middle of the desert in Arizona to shoot off illegal fireworks with her.
Incredible.
It was pretty funny. It was very entertaining to listen to.
Oh, my God.
I was like, I didn't even have to watch a movie. I could just eavesdrop on the 50-year-old lady hitting on some
That actually reminds me of the time Tony and I went to Detroit, and he had to sit. We took like Spirit Airlines, and we flew back, and I was in one row, and he was in a different row, and he was next to a woman who got on the plane with her friend, and they were just torched, hammered.
Oh, God.
Sunglasses on, loud, really just not with it, and they hit on Tony.
Oh my God!
Wait, the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Close enough where you could hear it?
I heard it all. I saw him sitting in the aisle, kind of like trying to stay away from this woman who's
trying to like look at his phone or something.
Hey, Miss Elba, who's on this plane? It's such a long flight. It's Detroit to Minneapolis, you numbnuts. It's 45 minutes up and down, and poor Tony's
stuck.
You're having a good time.
At least he was on the aisle.
He was on the aisle, thank God.
That is,
thank God.
Normally you're in like the window seat in that scenario. So.
Hey, there's no way around. I'm top of the mountain. I'm queen of the mountain. My cup running over. I already told ya. I'm
Happy New Year, you guys.
Happy New Year.
Oh, that was so satisfying, actually.
Can we see that in an instant replay?
Oh no. This literally sounds like stock audio for like a commercial.
If you're not watching on YouTube right now but listening,
You're an idiot for one. You should be watching.
Peter has just opened up a Dogwood Coffee cold brew.
Yeah, and they have really good branding. Oh, now he's pouring it. You should have poured it in the
ice
microphone.
cold. That is ice cold.
Here, I'll pour mine in the microphone. You guys can hear it.
Peter, why are we drinking Dogwood Coffee?
Because Dogwood Coffee is the first official sponsor of the Women's Hockey Pod. Hey, just picked up a giant shipment of cold brew. We've got Zamboni cold brew right here. That's my personal favorite. The gals today are sipping on Rec League, which is a cold brew with 1/3 of the caffeine of
And
Dogwood's
it's the
usual cold brew.
cutest little dogs playing hockey on
They
the
are
branding.
adorable. They're obviously
really
wearing Edina gear, Edina jerseys.
Edina.
I doubt it. I very much doubt it.
I tell you what, though, I think it is so sweet and it's delicious. And because it's whatever, like after it's
What time is
4,
it? Oh, it's almost 4 o'clock. Okay.
354.
1/3 of the caffeine's for me.
But
Yeah.
we are super excited to have Dogwood aboard. Dogwood is just as excited as we are to be providing us with some fabulous product. These gorgeous mugs, this fantastic cold brew, these very eye-catching hats.
Check out my hat.
I'm a little bummed out that I'm freshly married because if I wore this thing and went out on the town, just
You're
people
bummed
all
out
over
that
the
you're
place.
freshly
I'm
married.
bummed out that I'm in a happy marriage.
Yeah,
I'm bummed
makes
out.
sense.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anyone.
The good news is I have a collection of green and white hats, and I've just added my favorite new one to it.
You're going to wear it on the bench tonight, right?
I told you. No, we play tomorrow.
Tomorrow, you're going to wear it on the bench
I'm
tomorrow?
going to wear this on the bench.
Somebody needs to get a picture of you wearing that on
Oh
the bench.
yeah, for sure.
Who is Tony sending to cover the Super Ink Spectacular this year?
Oh, actually, is someone
Is it
actually?
you? Wait,
not
is there
covering
somebody
that?
going?
I was gonna say.
Is there someone coming?
I was gonna say. I feel like we normally do cover that a little bit. No.
No, we do not.
Why would we
Oh.
do that? It's literally 15 minutes after we left there for
I
72
thought
hours.
that people covered every tournament.
I know,
in
you're
this
probably
company.
right.
And
It depends
it's-
on if it's Eddie Dinah or if Edina is in it.
We'll send someone to the
it's-
championship because you'll be in it, right?
I think we have a chance.
Oh.
It's also 3 weeks until we're going to be back
We're so close.
Is that
to being
Squirtacular?
back. Yes.
for Squirtacular.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But in any case,
We're gonna
cheers
need a
to
lot of
Dogwood
Dogwood.
coffee. Thank
Cheers.
you, Dogwood.
We're gonna need a lot
we
of this.
certainly appreciate it. You're going to keep us hyped for the rest of
I
the
actually
season.
am being fully honest, though. I drink Zamboni cold brew all the time.
I do
so.
too. I love Zamboni cold
I like
brew.
live right by Dogwood too. One of them. They
Yeah.
have locations in the cities. 3
Yep,
of them at
there's
least.
one on University, there's one on Tyler Street Northeast, and there's also one on Lake Street. So multiple locations. They also do a very brisk delivery business. 2 bags of, single origin beans arrived on my doorstep. One is going to taste like crunch berries, and one is going to taste like lemon and fig custard. So I'm
Whoa.
very excited.
Nice.
Crunch berries.
We'll see if I share any of that.
Very interesting.
What we
Very
will share with
interesting.
you today is a whole shitload of women's hockey news.
Yeah. We are coming off of not only, well, did we record last week or are we like on a week off?
We had a week off. It was Christmas last week.
Nice.
What do
In
you
case
mean
you
nice?
forgot,
What do you mean? Oh, nice. It was Christmas last week. That's cool.
Wednesday was Christmas. We were not here.
That was our day. Okay, so that's why things are, well, could it go like seriously the 10 days that just whirlwind, lumberjack Christmas.
I told everybody,
Danglefest.
people would say things like, so is Danglefest from Thursday to whatever? And I'm like, just don't ask me the day of the week. Just give me the date. Give me the date because I have no idea what day it is right now. I don't know if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or
The thing
Sunday.
is it started on a Saturday, which has never happened.
No.
Also, I feel like
don't
people just
that.
assume that like if you work, like you get holiday time off. And I was like, no.
Not really. We had an event started the morning of the 26th in
Yeah.
Prior Lake.
Yeah.
The first JV buses rolled into the Dakota Ice Center at like 8:30 in the morning the day
Yeah,
after
I'm still
Christmas.
recovering. I actually am looking forward to this next week because we
I
don't
was
have a
kind of
tournament
glad
for
that
3
I
weeks.
was like violently ill because I could just lay in bed for a couple days after Christmas.
Glad you were violently ill. Okay. You
I
have
mean,
to have an excuse.
You gotta
That's
do what
fine.
you gotta do to get some break around here.
I wouldn't say violently ill, but I could not get out of bed.
Yeah, mono,
I didn't know. It was like
pneumonia.
I think I had like Christmas-itis.
A couple years ago, we called it COVID.
It probably was.
You got long COVID. Christmas-itis. What is Christmas-itis?
It just means like I don't like socializing.
It's a lot.
That
It's
much.
like it's literally exhausting.
You're socially
I was
burned out.
so but I also was ill. Like I still had a cold.
At some point,
Head cold.
At some point, my voice is going to crack during this episode, and you will hear.
You said you liked
At least you
it.
have a voice from the other day.
Well, it is. It's certainly better than the other day. I think I did my last Danglefest broadcast. It sounded a lot like this.
Like Tony.
You and Tony were
at
like
Lumberjack. Yeah.
It sounded like two different men on the broadcasts.
Yeah, not the
People had no idea who
not
it
the
was.
typical broadcasters. So, needless to say, we took a break because of the holiday. So did a lot of the teams that we cover. So, as far as results, I think we can talk a little bit about the U played Bemidji yesterday in Lakeville at the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame women's
Hall of
feature
Fame game.
and that was really fun. They ended up winning 4-1, but the Beavers scored the first goal. I'm going to call it a normie goal. My 15U normies scored the exact same goal against Minnetonka last week, but it's super fun.
Can you describe what that means?
Yeah, so her aggressive forecheck caused the goaltender to make a bobbly play, and this is the first shift of the game, like probably 13 seconds in.
Bobbly.
And she just, from the half wall, like turns around, does a 360 into a slap shot, and beats the goalie back to the net because the goalie's like overplayed, right? So that was really fun because that was Kate Johnson. She's actually a Minnesota player.
Warroad.
And so she got that goal. So start that game with a goal from Bemidji, and kind of assuming Minnesota would probably win the game, made it actually really fun. And the whole first period was back and forth, but spent most of the second period watching a lot of the interviews, which were fun. Bobby Schneider was there. Mike Madonna was there. So funny. They were like doing these interviews for Big Ten, and Mike Madonna fully missed his introduction in between the periods on the ice.
What?
Like, he forgot he was supposed to go down there or something.
Really?
Just got like overwhelmed in his interview. That was really good. And just lost track of time. But they had Danny Cameronese. They had both Lakeville North and South girls hockey coaches and the youth program at Lakeville. It looked like it was so packed. Actually, Sam Balzer went and left.
Oh, geez.
Because she couldn't see.
It
was indoors.
It was at Hasse?
It was at Hasse.
Okay, well, that explains it because that's like the worst parking lot. It's so small.
I was on the phone with
It's
Sam
so
while she was
small.
parking, and she was like, "Oh my
bad.
god, I'm never
Lakeville
gonna get out
North
of here."
South games are packed. Like it's literally like I don't know why they would have it there. It's also a one-sided arena. So
Well, it seems like Lakeville
kind of
South or Lakeville's youth programs were really the driving force for it, and it looked like a fantastic event, and so cute. The little like 8Us were playing in between periods, and all of their jerseys are PWHL and PHF teams. So they had the Buttes, they had the Whale. Like it was really
Cute.
sweet. Anyway, overall great looking
I
event.
had no idea you went to that. Good for you.
I watched it. I didn't go because I tend to watch hockey so I can, or stream it so I can actually watch it. Because if I go, I'll be late. I will not find parking. I will probably chat every person I've ever met in the history of my life while I sit there.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, so like
that.
so I can't even cover the game if I go. So I stay home and watch it, and then I can hit rewind and stuff.
I feel like that's fair. I don't really cover games. I get so distracted.
And I'm
by
charging
what's
Tony
happening.
for a Big Ten Network account, so I might as well use it. But any chance to sit in my room alone on my couch is like ideal. So if I can cover
Fair
games
enough.
from there, that's what I'm doing, and that's what I did. And then I send people like Sam. I ask her about it.
Your
Like, how was-
minions?
Yeah,
Your
how was the game,
underlings?
Sam? I went home. It was too packed. So anyway,
It's a fun event, though.
super fun. I thought that was great. I haven't heard of an event like that up to maybe this was like the first annual or something. So hopefully they'll keep doing that. Milankova scored 3 goals in that 4-1 win for Minnesota. So yeah, in spite of giving up that first goal and keeping it fun for the fans, they did do what they were supposed to do and come back and win. And then they have today off and they play Brown tomorrow.
Okay.
That's really all I had for like D1 results for last week. Although I do have some Summit scores, and it's not the weekend, and all the days are off, so we didn't post them on Twitter. But Delaney Fleming and Lily Delianidis.
Delandis.
Well, it's spelled like Delianidis.
It's spelled Delianidis.
Yeah.
It's Delandis.
Okay, from Cornell, each scored in their 5-1 win against Syracuse, or I don't know if it's Syracuse or RIT, but we got Kate Johnson at Bemidji, and Ellie Huber scored for the U of M. And there's some controversy. Is she a Minnesota player?
I don't believe so.
I think she
Ellie
played in
Huber is from Chicago.
She played in Minnesota though for like a year or two.
She might have gone to Shattuck, but I
so.
don't think she's
She's not born and raised in Minnesota, but
give me my flowers. She's from Chicago.
no, I know because I told Tony something about it once, and I
She
put it
played
on Summit.
for Mission.
Right. Okay. But she's got a connection. She played somewhere in Minnesota maybe for a year.
I don't think she did.
It's on my list.
Okay, you keep going,
Count
and
it.
I will figure this out.
All right. So that brings us to the end of results. So upcoming D1 today, Ohio and Wisconsin are playing their first of a series. This is going to be super fun and exciting. Although probably Wisconsin will win.
We're in kind of a weird zone where there wasn't a lot happening over Christmas, obviously, but there's a lot of stuff kicking off like right
the
around
New Year's
New
specials.
Year. So yes, Ohio State and Wisconsin are going to go head to head. The top two teams in the country. They split earlier this year. They're going to play the first game in Madison tonight in about 4 hours. So if we leave now, we could get there for puck drop.
All my friends are going. Literally all my friends are in cars right now.
How does that make you feel?
I've been having the worst FOMO ever.
How bad?
I can't describe it.
Can't describe it. What about going to Wrigley Field?
Okay, that's what I'm even more sad about.
I would be bummed about that. They're going to play at Wrigley Field at 5:30 p.m. on Saturday, and that sounds like something that I need to be a part of somehow.
I can get you a ticket. I can get you into the W Club event. I can get you a night out with some of my friends, including Megan Hunter, which I wouldn't miss for anything except for the Super Ring Spectacular.
Well, I'm definitely going to wear this hat then if I'm going out. Okay, all right, cool.
Well, the overall experience looks amazing.
Go
Badgers. The Badgers dropped like a throwback jersey for this event that looks
they?
amazing. I want it. Leila Edwards dropped what you call it, like a royal badge or something. It's like a tough-looking badger with like a crown on.
A royal badge.
The royal badge.
Wisconsin.
Check out this hat. It's exclusive
hockey,
Leila Edwards.
Wrigley Field.
Well, everyone's going to be there except for me.
Poor Jossie, man.
Seriously,
we're
I should
roasting
probably
Joss
I
right
should
now.
just get a flight from Blaine.
Why don't you just take the bus?
Because
Amtrak.
I've got a game. I have a game in Blaine. I've got priorities.
Yeah, but you have assistant coaches.
Look, I already made them do everything all Dangle Fest weekend.
We know that the team that you're coaching is your top priority.
Yeah, so
we know that.
I'll stream the Badgers game.
You'll stream while
Plus, you know
while
what?
you're on the bench.
I'm
You're
not trying to
looking
stand
down
outside in the winter either. I would come up with an excuse to miss almost any outdoor game.
I
this
think you
point.
would be fine. You throw on a nice thick jacket, pair of snow pants or something. I think you'd be all right.
Okay.
That is going to be a sight to behold, though. Certainly we'll be tuning in to that one.
Yeah, so 2-game series they're going to play tonight and on the 4th. And then so who did Minnesota play? Bemidji, and Penn State's going to play Syracuse, and then they're switching it up. So tomorrow, the U will play Brown.
Cap.
Let's see. Penn State, they'll play on Saturday.
Okay. We have a photographer going to that game. That's a good reminder. I need to get
And
in
then
touch with
Penn
them.
State's playing Bemidji today. Okay, so what do they call that when like Penn State and Brown are coming and then like the 4 teams are each playing each other?
A jamboree.
A jamboree. They're having a little women's jamboree.
We're having a little jamboree.
Minnesota, Brown, Bemidji, and Penn State are having a bit of a jamboree. And I wanted to mention Maddie Christian, who plays for Penn State, is currently number 3 in the league in power play goals with 6.
What about Stella Retram?
Well, I didn't take a look at her stats because she
Okay.
wasn't 3 or higher.
Oh, that's fair.
Do you have them?
No.
She's not. She has less than 6 power play goals.
Fewer than 6 power play goals. Okay.
So,
Fine.
so I wanted to shout out Maddie Christian. She'll be in town, and I'm going to be going to that game, Minnesota versus Penn State, on Saturday night.
Fantastic. We should also mention that these games that Ohio State and Wisconsin are playing in are under the umbrella of the Frozen Confines Big Ten Hockey Series, which is why it's being played at Wrigley Field.
Sweet. Okay, elsewhere, Duluth plays Syracuse tomorrow. MSU plays Lindenwood twice this week. And then Bemidji plays Brown on Saturday. And as I mentioned, University of Minnesota plays Penn State. So there are some fun WCHA matchups, like WCHA teams versus like New Hot teams. And
Well, I'm impressed that Syracuse is making the trip out here. Brown is nice because there are a couple of Minnesotans on the Brown team. I'm pretty sure we'll have a photographer at that game as well.
Yep. Yeah,
So we
need some of those
appreciate the
teams.
East Coast teams coming on out.
Okay, so
we're
that's
not
upcoming.
flying to you.
Upcoming. That's what's upcoming. If you want to watch some good women's hockey in the next 3 days, I recommend the Ohio-Wisconsin series.
Yeah, a couple other little nuggets from NCAA news. Skylar Vetter apparently injured, and she will be out for a little while. I want to make sure I get that right. Out for the year.
Does it tell you why?
No, this tidbit does not tell me why.
It's like a lower body injury.
Is it?
Wait a minute, I don't know, but is she a goalie?
Yeah.
It probably is because with goalies,
Do you want to know a
their
fun
hips all
thing
the
about
time.
Skylar Vetter?
What's that?
I just like always have a special place in my heart for her because first of all, she played for Lakeville North boys.
Yeah,
was,
she did.
She was their head starting goalie for like their whole time. But the reason that she played boys hockey is because of my dad.
Aw.
Why is that?
Because my dad was the president of the Lakeville Hockey Association, and when she was young, she was like way better like than the girls' teams that they had at the time. And they were like, he was the one who made like the rules because he was the president of the Youth Hockey Association. So they said, should she be allowed to play for the boys? And he said, well, yeah, she should play for whatever team she's fits in or whatever.
Nice.
So
I think she was our goalie of the year that year.
she was really good.
She was the best player on that Lakeville North Band
She
AA
was
team.
really good for their team too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sources. Nah, I don't even want to call our source close to the situation, but according to sources, she will be out for an extended period of time.
I don't like speculating on injuries, but there is like a trending problem with goaltenders having these overuse injuries. And I understand that USA Hockey is going to start tackling that from the top down. We can expect things like limits on the number of butterfly saves a player can make in a practice or in a day, for example, like pitching for men.
My
Men's
18-year-old
baseball.
brother had to have hip surgery.
I was going to say it's
because of being a
hips,
goalie.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
It's
get
hips.
like the grinding of your femur on your pelvic bone. It like creates literal like formations in your bone.
I feel like hip surgeries are becoming more and more common, not just for goalies, but for skaters in general.
Yeah, so many
overuse
injuries.
people have hip surgery. I feel like, didn't Andrew say he had hip surgery for
I
something
don't
sports
remember.
related? I feel like young kids have hip
Yep.
surgeries.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. So I think USA Hockey's tackling it from goaltenders first. But yeah, there are way too many youth hockey players having major like reconstructive surgeries of
Yeesh.
knees.
They
and
said that
hips.
the goalie thing especially is like something that developed because of the types of like the butterfly.
So they say
became, like, a
there's going to be
popularized-
a new forthcoming will be a limit on what do they call it in baseball?
Minutes?
Like the limit of pitches.
Well, they have a pitch count.
So there's going to be like a butterfly count.
Actually,
How would you even
yeah,
be
that
able to
would be
enforce
so hard.
that?
Like, who's gonna enforce that?
Who enforces the pitch count?
Well, you can count pitches pretty easily.
Same with butterflies.
I feel
But
like,
it's like-
Each time the
it's
goalie
like
does
the-
like this,
It's
that's
like
a butterfly.
it's
One.
like the
goes like what? Can you show
the
the camera?
15-year-old ref.
This looks very butterfly-ish.
Very butterfly-ish.
Wait, I can't even. This is why I'm
You
not a
should do
goalie.
this.
But I feel like a goalie could be.
That's the sign the ref has to give.
Too many butterflies.
I think a goalie would be able to say that wasn't a full butterfly. Or,
Yeah, they could like argue
what
it.
do you want me to do? I'm trying to stop the puck.
No, you can do all your butterflies. You just can't do too many.
I just don't know how you would enforce.
You know
that.
what it would be? It'd probably be like an estimate. Goalies are doing X number of butterflies per period, so goalies can only play so many periods in a day or week or whatever.
I think a time
That would be-
limit would be more
Yeah.
applicable.
Yeah.
A butterfly limit.
Just to count butterflies.
So they have to hire a ref for every single game just to stand
Just
there
for
and
butterfly
count the
clicking?
butterflies.
Sounds like a pretty cushy job.
But wait, that's my question: is who's doing it in baseball? Did they not hire somebody to be the pitch counter? Somebody's counting it.
For Little League.
Where are they doing pitch counts? Where do they max out on pitch
Little
counts?
League.
Okay, exactly. So who's
Little
counting?
League, I think they might do pitch counts for high school ball.
Who's counting it?
What's a pitch count?
Pitch count is a limit to the number of pitches. I know for Little
Oh,
League, you
okay.
can only throw like 75 pitches in a 6-inning game.
You'd think that they
85
just
maybe.
estimated the amount of
This is what I'm saying. There
pitches.
must be somebody literally hired counting pitches. Like
At the Little League World Series, there is.
and this is what I'm saying. This will become somebody's job.
Yeah, there's a pitch counter on ESPN too, because it becomes a huge thing. And this is way off topic, but when you have a really good pitcher and the coach uses that pitcher as their
Overuses
horse,
them. Yeah.
the little pitch counter on ESPN on the scoreboard, that becomes a huge factor because
Yeah.
they have to start thinking, okay, who's our second guy? do we use our starter in the semifinals as opposed to the championship game? Because what if they hit this pitch count? He can only throw for 2 innings. He can only throw how many pitches? There are rules, and the amount of pitches, there's a correlating amount of time that the pitcher has to have off.
Yeah,
so,
so watch for that for goaltending in hockey in the next, I would say, 2 years less.
2 years or less,
huh? Yeah. I mean, it was like heavy focus at the USA Hockey annual meeting this past year.
Interesting. Maybe we should have a doctor on.
I don't think we even need one.
Sportsman. Why not?
I think it's
Summit
obvious.
Orthopedics.
Summit Orthopedics.
Yeah, where would we find a doctor?
Somebody from Summit
That
Orthopedics.
gives us time to talk about our other sponsor.
Or Red Balloon.
There you go. I don't think Red Balloon
Could you
deals
read the
with
thing?
like hip surgery, but
They should. Well, they probably have cortisone. Anyway.
Or at least access to cortisone.
Yeah.
first dose cortisone.
Your first cortisone shot brought to you by not Red Balloon. Let's just cut. Let's just cut all of that.
Weekly polls haven't. Well, the D1 poll has not changed very much. We're still looking at Wisconsin, Ohio State, Minnesota Duluth, the three C's.
I don't think it's going to change
And
much.
then St. Cloud State right there at 8, where they always are. So nothing really changing at the D1 level. But for the first time all season, there is not a Minnesota team in the top 4 in D3. So Middlebury moved in once Gustavus beat UW River Falls. Gustavus moved when they lost to Augsburg. So now there are 4 new teams in the top 4, and the Minnesota teams, Gustavus and Augsburg, are 5th and 6th.
Boo.
Yeah, so D3, things are shaking. Things are moving and shaking. And then briefly, I just thought I would pull some sort of shout-out season. And, of course, my favorite, Lily Mortenson's leading the league in scoring. So Lily Mortenson.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good for Lily Mortenson.
Yes. Okay, so moving on to where are we at? Well, let's talk about international level, international scale.
You want to go to the IIHF U18 Women's World Championships?
Well, we did. Well, okay, so the last time we recorded, we talked about maybe getting Allie Altman, who had been in Finland.
Yep.
With the U.S.
Okay. She's there right now.
No, the Six Nations. No, she's not. She's back. They have a different goaltender for the U18 Women's Worlds team.
Oh.
Goaltender coach. But our U.S. Now there's so many words. I'm getting confused. Whichever team, the Six Nations Cup, the college roster.
Okay.
Right? They won it.
Okay.
That's exciting.
That is. That's very good news.
Okay, Abby Murphy scored. Okay, wait, we had a Minnesotan score too. It was an empty netter, and now I can't even find my notes on it. But the United States won the Six Nations Cup, which was held in Finland just prior to Christmas.
Fabulous.
So that was exciting. That was the first Six Nations Cup. So there's not like a history that we can talk about the United States being so great.
Okay.
But that was one of the college only rosters that we talked about, and anyway, super exciting.
That is exciting. Anytime the U.S. does well on an international stage, that's good. A rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Yeah. And then, as you mentioned, the U18 Women's World is happening this week in Finland as well.
Yep, in Vantaa, Finland. We will get started on Saturday. The United States will play Japan in the U.S.'s first game at 2 a.m. Local time. So I will need my dogwood to stay up or just wake up.
Or my new Happy Light. I got a Happy Light for Christmas.
What the hell is a Happy Light?
Well, it has all these lumens, and then you think it's daytime when it's night. So we could put it on and trick ourselves into thinking it's daytime to watch.
Where are we watching? Are we
it's
gonna?
probably not even streaming. I don't even know why we're gonna do this.
Should we just come to the office at 2:00 in the
I'll bring
morning
my
and
Happy
have little eggs, bacon, little dogwood?
Okay,
hold on. That could actually be fun.
That would be fun.
That could be.
It'd be like when you were a kid and they did like those all night things at the church. Lock-ins.
Lock
ourselves into the office.
Maybe we need a hypnotist.
Yes.
Should we get a hypnotist?
The 3 of us.
And
do
a
you think
clown?
David Magic does hypnoty?
David Magic. I love that guy. I never got to watch him perform, but everybody said he was great. What? Hold on.
I couldn't get enough.
Whoa. Back up for a second.
He did not want me to come back after the third.
David
like,
Magic.
God, she's gonna figure out my magic.
David Magic is a magician we hired to work our Now Prospects Combine over the summer. So you're telling me that instead of attending to your combine duties, you watched The Magician 4 times?
Somebody had to monitor the kids in that room.
Somebody had to make sure the magic was actually good enough
my
for
God.
Well, I just
Now
wanted to make sure
Prospects.
nobody disrespected him.
Nobody did.
Honestly, the one time I saw it, it was 2 Gopher players that he picked, and they fully were like, this is cool.
Everybody loved it. He was amazing.
He was.
He was so good. I don't.
Nobody's gonna disrespect the magician.
Hey, kids are mean. Kids are mean.
There was a lot of skepticism going into that because it was my idea. I was like, we're definitely getting a magician. We were trying to fill the week. Like, I'm not a camp
Especially
counselor.
that age of kids. I feel like they'd like bully him.
I was like a financial advisor before this job, and then all of a sudden I'm a camp counselor 6 months later.
Hold on.
Trying to fill a week's worth of activities for 7th graders.
I was a financial advisor, so therefore we need a magician at
I'm
the
just
summer
saying I was
camp.
not qualified to schedule a week of kids' activities. I can babysit them. I can
Are
even
any
do
of
the
us
on ice
really
stuff.
qualified for this job when we applied
Sam
for
Balzer
it?
was.
Yeah, Sam Balzer. That might have been it.
So
I've been
I feel like
unqualified for every job I've ever had.
I literally like got hired to this job to do podcast producing. And he's like, "Do you know how to produce this?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
yeah,
And look at you now. You're wearing a yellow hat and you're
Producing
punching
away.
a bunch of buttons over there. Buttons. There you go.
buttons.
So David, what the hell were we talking about? David
Can we
Magic
rewind?
somehow came up.
Can we go back and see
Oh,
what we were talking
doing
about?
a lock-in.
Oh, we're doing a lock-in.
lock-in.
I actually think this could be so much fun because USA Japan plays at 2 a.m. Finland Sweden, which I do want to watch, plays at 5:30 in the morning, and then the Czechs play the Swiss at 9 a.m.
I stay
The
up so
Canadians
late
play the
anyways.
Slovakians at 12:30 local
We
time.
can make it a full event. We can
That'd be
invite other
so
people.
fun.
That's all on set. This could be so sick, you guys.
Wait
We're
a minute.
Totally
I should
doing
show up
this.
right after I leave the Minnesota Penn State game.
Okay.
We get started early, and we've
Well,
got. A fridge full of
I'm watching
dogwood.
USA Japan no matter what happens. We could all have matching PJs.
Oh my god.
I'll bring
Feety
comfort
pajamas.
sets. I'll bring comfort sets for everyone.
Yes.
Wait, really?
I have a
I will
bunch.
totally take a comfort set.
I have like a lot.
In the year of our Lord 2025, I am prioritizing comfort. I got a pair of house shoes for Christmas.
did I.
Halflingers. They're amazing.
I got recovery Crocs.
recovery
Yeah.
You know what
Crocs.
recovery slides are? They're like really, really
Yeah.
thick.
Yeah.
They're Croc versions. They're the best things ever.
Okay, so in 2025, we are prioritizing
This is the
comfort.
year of
We're
comfort.
getting matching
Efficiency.
jumpsuits. We're getting matching gym
We can
jams.
get matching PWHL jumpsuits because those are sick.
Those are good.
We could also get them for free if somebody wants to pony up for that.
There's no money in the budget.
Minnesota Frost.
I know the person distributing them for the Frost. I should ask her, but she's gonna be at
Call
the Wrigley
them.
Field. She's gonna be at the Wrigley Field probably.
Maddie Rooney.
No, it's my girl Sis. She's actually
Sis.
My girl.
Well,
sis.
call Sis. I will
Sis will
wear.
probably be at the Frost game
I
on
will wear
Saturday.
the shit out of a Minnesota Frost jumpsuit. I actually think this could be a cool idea. All joking aside, we should all watch those games together.
That would be fun.
Okay, I'm in. I'm in.
Okay, there
I'm
are
free.
You don't have to convince me.
there are 4 Minnesotans on the roster. Haley Box,
Eden
who
Prairie.
played for Holy Family before moving on to Shattuck St. Mary's. She is an awesome hockey player. Finley Engfer, who came up in the Prior Lake system but now plays for Apple Valley High School, an outstanding goaltender. And then a pair of players from Orono, and this will affect girls' high school hockey. We'll discuss that more on her ice next week. Maddie Kimbrell and Macy Rasmussen will be off in Finland competing for Team USA.
Well, and I mean, teaser. Even though we didn't get Allie and I teased it last week, Allie said, let's get you in touch with some of these girls while they're in Finland. So perhaps next week we will have some opportunities to touch base
That would
with
be
some of these
so
girls.
cool.
Yeah.
I love this event. I think this event is so much fun. I think it has so much potential. Like how the World Juniors for the boys' side, it becomes this cultural phenomenon for, especially for Canada. They take a lot of pride in World Juniors. But I think the U18 Women's World Championships could do the same thing. I think it should promote a lot of national pride.
Well, I'll tell you-
Nationalism, for
Yes.
lack of a better term.
The United States won this in 2024 when it was held in Switzerland.
Hell yeah, we did.
The United States has medaled in all 16 appearances, which is not a surprise. And they've played in all but one gold medal game. So shockingly,
Yeah.
they haven't played in all gold medal games. I guess the point of that stat is that they did miss it once, but
We-
they've earned gold 9 times at this tournament.
We did miss the gold medal game in 2023. Ended up with the bronze medal. Nothing to sneeze at. But here in America, we compete for championships.
Well, I think
Just
if
throwing it out
anything,
there.
it's like, okay, like it's showing this growth of this women's game. If it's not always a Canada-U.S. championship, but speaking of World Juniors, I saw a tweet that teased, what is it, Canada Hockey Canada,
Hockey Canada. Yep.
teasing an announcement regarding women's international play, and there is some speculation that it may be a women's juniors announcement.
Like junior hockey will become
No,
a
like
level
a
for
World
women
Juniors tournament.
because that's on the horizon. Okay, like a U20.
Yeah, like a U20, like one of these, just the same setup as the boys.
Interesting.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's what people are calling for, but it may not be able to look like that right away. But
I think that would be really cool. I would also.
well, there is no U20s for girls. Like they're for women. There's just the U18s.
Yep.
And then it's like nothing. Well, rivalry
Until
series
the Olympics.
until the Olympics or the U22 year. Like
Okay.
if you're like, but there's like a huge gap there at the international level for American girls to get some of that high level competition, depending on where you're at.
Well, if somebody from Hockey Canada wants to swing by our office and let us pelt them with questions about this, I would be more than happy to welcome a Canadian through our doors.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Because they're Canadian,
They can come to our slumber party.
they could come to our slumber
yeah,
party.
let's have them there. We'll see if they're cool.
They're Canadians and they like hockey. Of course they're cool.
Look, I have nothing wrong with Canadians.
But the Americans did not. This is kind of a meta question. I want to ask you this, Jocelyn, because you're the only one that has any playing experience at the national level. Unless Kayla has some that she's just not telling
Yeah,
us
surprise. I'm really good at hockey, guys. Actually, I was in the national level for like ping pong once.
What?
I'm just kidding.
about. Oh
like,
my
what?
God!
I don't know why.
Bring
you
a
guys
ping pong
believe me.
table to the freaking overnight.
To the slumber
Yeah.
party.
I was gonna say, well, let the record stop on that one. Hold on, explain
Yeah,
ping pong
pause.
to
I'm
us.
kidding.
Oh, it doesn't even happen.
So last year when this tournament occurred, USA Canada is always the big rivalry game, correct? The US and Canada didn't play each other at all at last year's tournament because Canada got knocked out. Good or bad for hockey? Is it good because more teams are getting a shot at the gold, like Czechia, who the U.S. beat in the gold medal game last year? Or is it bad for hockey because you're not getting the prize fight that everybody's waiting for?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, I think the concept of it is good for hockey. It gets people talking about hockey. It's a really good, it's more than a 24-hour news cycle in some cases, as opposed to the typical USA-Canada matchup. One of them wins, it's a 10-minute news cycle. Oh, great. Another one of the wins from the, top two. Mm-hmm. So overall, good for hockey, I think, because I think it brings some eyes to the game, or even temporarily. But you're right. You do want to see the best competition in the last game. So if it's a fluke where Canada's knocked out in some sort of fluky situation and that team comes out and bombs their championship game, that's less fun for the viewer or the folks that are, paying attention, because they do want to see the top players against each other. But Czechia is probably better than Canada that day. Like in any team that shows up in a good league on any given night can win a game, and that's a sign of a growing and sustainable league. So I'd rather see a few different people in the mix each time.
Interesting. I think from a programming perspective, I would rather see different teams in the mix each time, but from a fan's perspective, I would rather see USA Canada, unless it's Nila Lopusanova.
That's the thing.
Then
How are you
I want
gonna
to see
feature
that
these
one.
women against your top U.S. women, and there are other avenues for us to see some of the U.S.-Canadian rivalry.
Flights to Vantaa, Finland,
What are they costing?
$566. Are you kidding me?
I feel like that's pretty
we
cheap.
have that much.
I know.
You guys!
So it's going to be a
16
long slumber party.
16 hours on Finn Air.
That's
It
the amount-
leaves tomorrow?
You know
No,
what?
this is February.
Look, I can do February. I'm booked up this weekend.
You're booked up.
Tomorrow.
You're not booked up this weekend. Come on.
Yes, I told you, the Super Inc. Spectacular,
No,
and then the
you're-
Penn State Minnesota game.
Okay, this is
What's more important, spending time in Vantaa, Switzerland?
like Switzerland.
Wait, what did you
Finland.
say?
Finland.
Wrong country.
Do you
So
know
it's $1,000 to fly out there tomorrow and come back the day after the
we
tournament
could
ends.
do
It's
this.
$1,000.
You guys, there's no gluten in Finland. Peter's done.
Sold.
Then I don't want to go.
No, this will be fun for me.
Yeah, for you.
Hey, if it's a country with no gluten, that means they mastered it.
That means they've mastered gluten.
Yeah, it means it probably tastes good without gluten.
Yeah, they just haven't invented gluten to ruin everyone's life.
If you guys want to pony up $1,114, we could go to Finland. We just fly out tomorrow.
I'm going to check my
We
change
make
jar.
some cool content while we're in Finland.
I'm in.
I'm in. You sold me.
But we'll postpone the sleepover.
Are we actually doing this? You guys are mean.
I want to
You
go.
guys are mean. I want to go to Finland. I
You
want
are
to watch
not
hockey.
gonna actually
I need
go
a
to Finland.
babysitter.
I might have.
You just bring your kids with. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's what I've been doing. Like tonight I'm staying at the Fairmont.
Or we can just
Bringing
leave
my
them.
kids.
Just leave
Nice.
them with Jake.
Jake can babysit.
No, I don't think he's ever babysat.
They
in
don't
his
need
life.
much babysitting.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
They just need rides. They need you to pick up McDonald's via app
And phone chargers.
and some phone
Yeah.
chargers.
And phone chargers. They were good.
They're pretty easy.
Well, we can dream about going to Finland, but in reality, Team USA is going to play Japan, Sweden, and Finland on the 4th, 5th, and 7th, respectively. Last year, Minnesotans were named Player of the Game 3 separate times. Josie St. Martin twice, now at Ohio State, and Layla Hemp, who is tending goal for Minnetonka High School, was also Player of the Game
Nice.
in a game last year. I love this tournament. I think it's fantastic. Everybody who's anybody is going to be there or will be watching it somehow. I might have to bust out an illegal stream to do it, but by God, I'm going to watch these games.
Nice. Well, we are too. We just made the plan.
I'll bring my projector.
Yes, seriously. I'll see you guys at 2
I
in the
can't-
morning on Saturday.
It's so exciting to have
Is
a
it
plan.
this Saturday?
Yes.
Oh,
It's like the day after tomorrow.
Matching adult feety pajamas.
you cannot get a footy pajama for a 5'11" woman. Trust me, I've tried.
What about a 5'11" man?
No. It's just like
Yes, you
it's
can.
just like our
Okay.
parents did when we grew out of our feeties. They just cut
Cut
the
the foot
feeties
off.
off.
Yeah.
It's still
We'll cut them off. We'll figure it out.
Matching onesies for couples. Well, that does not solve our problem. here.
Thrupples.
Oh, God. Jossie, take us into the PWHL, please.
Please.
Speaking of-
Please, God.
I mean, moving on from thruples to quadruples, we had a major trade between Ottawa and Toronto. First of its kind. There were some trades last season, but they were just kind of a little quieter. Like the Frost acquired Sophie Jakes, and I thought that was a great move, although she's out injured right now. And this one was like a big deal. And here's my take. I'm pretty sure they did it like this because this happened at 10 p.m. on Monday night. The Ottawa Charge were going to play the Toronto Scepters the next day. And then each team traded 2 of their players to the other team at 10 p.m. the night before.
Crazy.
So, like, Jocelyn LaRock got traded, and I think Savannah Harmon. Is that right?
Yeah, it was Savannah Harmon.
So they're, like, literally flying in to play with
Do you think
Toronto.
that they were like, "Oh, you better pack your bags. This is
They had no
you're
clue.
moving."
They interviewed. There was like some interviews that I saw. They literally didn't have any idea.
Oh,
like
my
they
God.
they like found out at 10 o'clock when the rest of Twitter found out, and then they walked into the
They
rink.
saw a tweet with their name in
They
it.
literally walked into the rink and like walked into the opposing team's locker room, and they were like handing them the sweatshirts off
Yeah.
their back.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!
Like-
No, that makes
And I'm sure it
total
happens
sense.
in any other situation,
Baseball.
right? Yeah,
They
like
getting traded across the hall.
yes.
Because in baseball, they play series, right? And they've had players traded to the other team that they're playing in the series. So they literally grab their bag out of the visitor's locker room or the home locker room, waddle on across the hall to the other clubhouse.
Well, so I felt like Jocelyn LaRock looked pretty emotional about it, actually. She's
kind of
the
a
oldest
bummer.
woman in the league. She was the first round draft pick, second pick in the first draft. She's 36 years old, but a staple and just a
Well,
legend.
I feel like when you have like a settled life in a town, like it would be really hard to just like.
Well, this is bringing me back to what I was saying was my take. I actually think the league kind of made this big deal, like out of the blue kind of a thing, as opposed to like some of these quieter trades that happened last year, because they really want these women to remember a trade is inevitable and it will happen at any time, and like don't get so comfortable. And this is like coming from this attitude of, like the Abby Barine situation where, folks believe that she belongs to us, the Frost folks, right? She belongs to us. We're going to get her in this draft. And then when we didn't, it was like a big problem. Speaking of Abby Barine, if you didn't Google her goal last week, my
I did
God,
not. Was
she
it-
made
was it
Renata
ridiculous?
Fast.
You need to watch it.
Okay, it's a contender for goal of the year.
Okay.
It's a really pretty.
She made Renata Fast look like a construction zone cone.
Or like Peter.
Don't throw me under the bus with Renata Fast
That was
here.
such a good joke. You got to repeat it. Should I bully you into repeating it?
do it. I mean, the
Okay,
bully
fine.
thing.
She wasn't Renata Fast on that play. She was more like Renata Slow as hell.
Renata gonna stop Abby Barine.
The dogwood is kicking in. The dogwood's kicking it. That was pretty good.
That was
Good,
good.
Jocelyn.
That was good.
Nice.
I like that.
Google Abby Barine's goal of the year.
It was
freaking
very
good.
pretty. Also, speaking of Abby Barine, she was back in Minnesota for the Victoire
played.
game. And it was really sweet because I feel like a lot of times in like the NHL, if someone comes back, they're all like, boo. It was like, the Jumbotron was like,
That's
Welcome
the thing.
back to
we
Abby
love
Barine.
Abby Barine. We love
and
her.
Claire DeGeorge also plays for the Victoire.
Okay.
And
She played for. Oh, was she always been Victoire, or did she get traded from the Frost?
That's what I was saying.
Okay.
They both got traded.
Oh, okay.
So they said, like, welcome back
Nice.
to these players, and everyone cheered, and I thought it was
Yeah.
really sweet. And also, I got this picture of Abby Barine, like, with her arm around Denisa Krysova, like, because they were on the starting, like, face-off.
Oh, nice.
It was very cute. I just feel like she was very happy to be there.
Yes.
And she also loves playing hockey, so I think she's happy either way. But
Well, yeah, we think we knew Abby Barine was going to figure it out. She's
Yeah.
going to be a top player in this league, regardless of whether she played for the Frost or got drafted by another team. And, we wish the best for Abby Barine.
she
like I
definitely
said.
just loves the sport.
Yeah,
Like,
she loves the sport. She's going to
she's
help change
smiling
the
whole
game. I'm
time.
sure of it. Her sister's en route to doing similar things. And then, but the idea though is like this league. We wanted it. We asked for it. We worked hard to get it. And then once it's here, it's like you're just subject to the same stuff. It's like we're not these. Some of this attitude that I've kind of projected on girls hockey players, like this not elitist, what's the word, entitled kind of attitude that I talk about, like just from an experience of not really ever being cut, never really kind of being let down by your expectations of your trajectory and things like that. There's a lot of women that just make it from a young age and they're always on the same rosters and it's tough to get off
Do you think
of
that
them.
being traded is like a little different? Because I feel like I would almost think of it as like I have a job. Like say that I was working this job with Youth Hockey Hub and all of a sudden Tony was like, hey, you got to work in Ottawa now. Like I feel like a lot of it is not necessarily like them thinking they are owed something, but a lot of it is like, oh shoot, I have to change.
All
I have
my
to find
things.
somewhere to live. I
Yeah.
have to make new friends. I have to do all of this stuff all of a sudden. And I didn't know it was going to happen.
But that's what I'm saying is like any one of these girls, the day they
Should
put their name in
expect
for
it,
the
kind
draft,
of.
know
Yeah.
that like you might as well never unpack your boxes,
Yeah.
right? But that's the same way a lot of NHLers have to live or other
Yeah,
sports. Like
that's true.
to me, I like the idea that it helps like normalize the league with the rest of the leagues and help remind these women. And I think the PWHL had an article on the trade and kind of the points of the trade, why they're made. Like for example, I think Ottawa's looking for some power play support. So one of the trades is the top power play goal scorer from Toronto, right? So it makes perfect sense. And if you're that player, you're like, hey, nice, it's my skills that they want on this other team. But it seemed like maybe Jocelyn was feeling more like, oh, Toronto doesn't want me anymore. Like I'm washed up, so now I'm getting sent over to Ottawa.
I think it depends on what the return is.
Yeah, it was like two
in a
totally
lot
different
of-
experiences in these interview clips I saw. The one was eager and excited about the move and the change and the new friends and the new everything. And I think Jocelyn was more shell-shocked. Like, again, this is the older woman in the league, and this is this attitude from more likely older women than some of these younger ones. But I thought it was cool to see it happen like that, where unfortunately for the folks that really did get disrupted, for the rest of the people, it's like a wake-up call. And just keep in mind, like, have your 24-hour bag packed because this kind of a trade's not going to necessarily be something that you're given a bunch of warning about or anything like that.
Oh, it's a business, right? It's a professional sports league. People get fired, people get hired, people get traded. I think it becomes a nuisance or an annoyance or a point of frustration for people with families because they got to pull their kids out of school. Like there are a lot
But
of.
I don't think everyone's doing that. I mean, look at NHLers. Like when they're getting traded,
no, that's
their
what I'm
families-
saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying some NHLers
Yeah.
will leave their
Yeah.
family in the current city because the kids are in school. They won't move them till the end of the school
Well,
year.
and then the wife is like alone. Like,
yeah, it's
that's
like
the
being
hard
like a
part,
military
I
wife
feel
or like a first
Yeah.
responder wife or
It's like,
something.
oh, great. I went from having my husband being able to help me to like him being into different stuff.
And now I
I'm
have
doing it
a
solo.
nanny who I
Yeah.
don't actually enjoy. But it's a fact of life. If you want to play at this level and you want to play in this league, that shit's going to happen.
Yeah. Yep. It's a reminder. So that's why I kind of liked it. It was just sort of like, well, and then each team has some big names out injured right now. Natalie Spooner's
Yeah.
been out injured since the first round of the playoffs last year, and she's one of their big 3-year contract players. So leading the league in scoring last year before she was out with her injury. But there's players on each team out with injuries right now, and as they come back, these lineups are going to shuffle up a lot.
Yeah.
Because reserve players have been picked up temporarily just to cover spots. And
Yeah, we actually just got a breaking news email from the Minnesota Frost.
bring it.
Yeah, the Minnesota Frost announced today the signing of goaltender Lucy Morgan to a 10-day standard player agreement. She was on the reserve player list. She's been called up to the big club. She is from Mandan, North Dakota, but played the bulk of her prep hockey for Maple Grove High School. Congratulations, Lucy Morgan.
Guessing that's because also Amanda Levier retired, so they didn't have a third.
Is that why?
Well, I know she retired. Do they have 3 on their roster, or do they have 4? Because Amanda
Who can
Levier
look it
was
up
I'm
faster?
looking at it,
PHF. She was the Whitecaps.
They have 3.
Front-
Oh yeah, she's
Front
the
goaltender.
goalie coach
They're gonna
for
have
like
4.
55
I love
different.
her. Yeah,
Everybody
I love
loves her.
She's so nice.
They
But
have
then-
3.
Okay, so who do they have still?
Maddie Rooney, Nicole Hensley.
And now the new one.
Lucy
And
Morgan.
now Lucy Morgan.
So the 15 UB White team's going to play Mandan on Saturday, guys,
Nice.
at the Super Rink Spectacular.
It's a big day for Mandan. I remember meeting Lucy's dad at the Section 5 championship game when Lucy was playing for Maple Grove. And I think at the point, Lucy hadn't gotten a D1 offer yet. And he and I were just kind of talking about, how she hadn't got one. And I was kind of surprised because her numbers were fantastic. She was a senior goalie of the year finalist. And she was still on the brink, didn't know if she was going to get a D1 offer. And now here she is signing a standard player agreement with the Minnesota Frost. That's so freaking
awesome.
cool,
Yeah,
dude.
that is awesome.
That's so cool.
You guys, I have an idea for a new. I have an idea for like a new segment on our pod too.
Okay.
It's going to be one where like I'll review our previous week's pod, and then what is it when journalists have to like come back and like tell you the truth about like something they lied
Corrections
about?
corner or something.
Yeah.
We can call it that.
It's going to be all the bullshit that I've told you. I'm going to correct it and then like tell you the right thing.
How much are we talking about here?
Well, in my
gonna
review,
be the whole show.
I was gonna say, in my review, easily 10 times per episode, I say some sort of bullshit.
What? Don't
No,
tell
I-
people that.
And most of it's true. Most of it's true.
I feel like you just deliver it with
Jocelyn.
such confidence.
But I
that
just
you
said
don't even
something
need
like
to
a
correct
minute
it.
ago that I was like, whatever I just said, like, that's not true.
Which was what?
I don't remember. It was a few minutes ago, but that's why I was thinking about the newest segment so that next week I could come back. But like, what is it called? Like, actually,
Self-reporting?
no. There's like
Retractions?
yes, it's like a retraction. Like, what do journalists have to do? They have to like literally like go out week by week.
I know
and
what
be
you're
like,
talking.
What is this
it's,
called?
It's like a retraction. It's a word like retraction.
It's like a formal deal that journalists do that I've seen a lot, especially since like the political nature of our country since 2015 or whatever.
Mea culpa.
But I feel like for you guys, because I genuinely care about our listeners and I want them to have the right information. And
Well,
I'm
that's probably
impulsive
good.
Well,
enough.
then be right the first time. Then.
It's really hard to read and talk at the same time.
Can you walk and chew gum at the same
Don't
time?
even bother trying. Get real.
A couple of other PWHL notes that we have for everybody. Minnesota currently second, right behind Montreal as we enter the new year. Leading scorers for the Minnesota Frost. First round draft pick, Claire Thompson. She's got 8 points this year, 7 of those coming on assists. Taylor Heisey's got 7 points. Kendall Coyne-Schofield has 6. The leading scorers of the entire league both play for the New York Sirens. Boo. Alex Carpenter and Sarah Fillier, the number 1 overall selection, have 8 points apiece. PWHL Minnesota. The next 3 games, they will play the Boston Fleet tonight. We know Kayla Jo Franz is going to be jamming out of here in a few minutes to go shoot that game. Nice work, Kayla. On Saturday, Minnesota will host the New York Sirens, and then on the 8th, Boston will be back in town.
Nice. I think right now Boston's probably a win for Frost.
On paper, it should be 2 guaranteed wins here because Boston is
Unfortunately,
in last place.
Minnesota has lost 2 games out of their 3 at home, so not as fun.
What's the atmosphere been like this year?
Good. I feel like not that I thought less people would show up, but you always, I feel like, compare to like a first season.
Yeah.
And I feel like besides the one game that was on like It was on a weird day at like 1 p.m. or something. So
Okay.
besides that, the other two games have been like had more people than last year's main. Just like, not like playoff games, but
Yeah.
I think they're pretty good. It's still the same environment. It's like a lot of young girls, which is very sweet, all wearing their jerseys and making homemade signs. And it's very sweet.
Trying to get on the Jumbotron.
Yeah. They now play Chaperone's Hot to Go. And it's just
Wait, how do you say that name?
Chaperone.
That is not how I've been saying it.
How have you been?
I don't
saying it?
even know.
Chappelle.
Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle.
Oh yeah,
Like
I
Dave
called her.
Chappelle.
I called her Chappelle for a little while.
Yeah, I just I saw her pronounce it on something.
It is Chapel. Lara
It's
filled
like
me in.
it's like she says it like Chapel.
Chapel.
She's by fancy.
She says it also. Maybe she has an accent or something. I just
Or
I
maybe
really
she doesn't
like
know
her.
how to pronounce her.
But
own
I
name.
think it's really funny because it's like it's kind of a weird song for like a bunch of little girls.
Can you do the dance?
There's a dance?
HOTTOGO.
They like all do it. It's
Wait.
really cute.
Show me that again. Does that actually spell hot to
H-
go?
H
That does not
O-
look like an H.
T
Okay.
T O G O.
Guys.
Hot to
First of all,
go.
where did you even learn that? Second of all, it does not barely look like the
First of
letters.
all,
Where did you learn?
does
it?
YMCA really look like the letters?
Yeah, that looks exactly like YMCA.
It looks like an M. It looks like an O with a
It
dent in it.
looks like an M kind of.
Yeah, see, it's like the same. It's like the same concept. H, yeah, I guess the little bad. That's like the only one.
So you're telling me that when that song comes on,
Everyone like all these. It's really cute. Actually,
I bet it is, actually.
I also feel like they really cater to their like they played "Whip My Hair" last year all the time, and it's just a bunch of little girls like.
how do
Which
they
is
even know that
amazing.
song? That song came out
I know
like 10
a long
years
time.
ago.
They probably
I think
only
Willow
know it
Smith
because
was like
it's-
13 when that song.
Yeah, they probably
came
only
out.
know it because they know when you go to the Frost game, that's when you headbang.
That's
lean,
when you headbang.
lean into it.
There used to be a headbanging song at the North Stars games. I don't remember what,
What
it
was
was. It was a. Oh,
Enter Sandman.
it might
For
have been
Whom the
like
Bell
Metallica,
Tolls.
but I think it was actually. Oh, I can't remember.
Something by Pantera.
If I can figure it out, let me see it. Like I'm gonna Google it. Otherwise, I'll come back next week with a more thorough answer.
They also have a
Mm.
flex cam where it says
Oh,
flex
no,
cam.
please
and it's just
don't. Oh,
people
God.
flexing.
I want to get on
It's
that.
hilarious.
I would
though.
love to get on
It is
that.
hilarious. It's like this last time there was a little boy flexing and he was making like a growl face. And when like everyone loves something so much that they show him again at the
Yes.
end?
They go
They
crazy.
did it again.
So cute.
Oh, Lord.
It was very cute.
Why would you want to be on that, Cam? You're not even our company's most jacked.
Yeah, you didn't even win the most jacked award.
You didn't even win most jacked, Jazzy.
Yeah, well, you're right. I probably should. I'm gonna do another sweat
You did
challenge.
win the best laugh, so
I did win
congrats.
best laugh, which is great.
Yeah, but there's no best laugh, Cam.
There isn't a best laugh cam.
You need the audio. That's why.
Now I'm just pissed. So I'm gonna do the January sweat challenge on my favorite app, the Sweat app, which is not a sponsor of ours, but should be.
The Sweat app?
Yeah, starting January 13th for
Call
6
him.
weeks.
Call him right now.
And then I'm gonna get in on that. I'm going to those games starting in February once I'm jacked.
Once I'm jacked.
just so you can get on the flex.
We will go to a game. We will go to
We're
a game.
gonna compare our
gonna go.
calendars. We're gonna get our at-a-glances
After
out.
the slumber
go to a
party,
game.
we'll figure it out.
We can do it at the slumber party.
What?
There's
We'll
a game
compare
on
calendars?
Saturday.
Is there
Compare
actually?
By the way,
What time?
It's at 1 p.m.
It's at 1 p.m.
It doesn't connect well
The
with our
Whites
slumber
will
party.
be
Not
playing
really.
at the same time.
Not real. Actually, that would kind of work out. It is the Sirens too. That would be the team that I would want to see
But
if
but
we go
you,
to a game in person
if you wanted to, you could also stream my game
on Saturday.
at 105.
Oh, you have a game on Saturday.
I've been talking about it the whole pod. Oh, and now remember what I told you that was a lie. We're not playing Mandan and in the Super Inc. Spectacular. That's going to be in the Fargo Freeze Girls International Tournament the following weekend. Okay.
Oh shit! Write that down. Jot that.
I'm
that
sure
down.
that everyone watching this was really glad that you made that correction for us.
And this is why
I'm thrilled.
This is why I'm pitching a new segment. So I'd love your feedback if you guys want a new segment where I correct all the bullshit or not.
I think we could make that happen. You know what else we could make happen? I think we could wrap the show at this point.
Oh no, I think we're.
I was thinking about 10 minutes of what dulls my blades.
Okay, fine. What dulls your blades?
No, I don't have
Peter,
anything.
are
this
you
week.
were you actually supposed to leave at 4? Because it is now.
I was gonna
4:30.
say I actually
No,
don't have
I don't think I'm actually going to make it to the game, but that's fine because we've seen these two teams play
Okay.
15 times.
Nothing's
over
dulling
the
my
course of the
blades these
season.
days because of my happy light.
Nothing's dulling your blades right
These
now.
days.
Okay.
She's got artificial sun keeping her company.
These days.
The only
guys.
thing that would dull my blades is I want it to be easier to watch the U18 Women's World Championships. I don't want to sift through streaming services. I don't want to pay for TSN. I don't want to pay for anything else. I just want to be able to watch it.
It would be easy to watch if we just went.
Okay.
If we just flew
to be
flew to
continued,
Finland.
we may be recording in Finland
The next time
week.
you see us.
My calendar is free, except for the slumber party.
Except for the
nothing's
children.
on it. They're fine.
If the company paid for it, I would be on a plane tomorrow.
I'll call Tony.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that. Oh, wait, call him right now. Put him on the air. Put him on the air.
I was thinking about it.
I feel like he would get mad.
Is he like on a vacation right now?
Yeah, he's
You guys,
at
this
the
might
bowl
be the
game.
perfect time to ask
ask
him.
Wait till a little bit later. See if the team
Wait,
he
I have an
wants to
idea.
win wins.
I have an
Do you want
idea.
to call him right now?
No, let's change one of our contact informations in our phone to Tony, and we'll have a fake text conversation. We'll show Sharon.
And then
we'll
she'll
circumvent
just
Tony
buy it.
completely.
Yes, genius.
Well, you just spoiled our whole plan.
We're gonna do this before
I'll
the
cut it out.
pod's
I'll cut it out.
dropped.
The pod is dropping tonight.
What? Tell
it's not.
everybody.
The audio.
It's
The
starting
audio
tomorrow.
version.
It's Friday morning tomorrow. We got to stay consistent, Peter.
Oh, I suppose.
The people want consistency. My
people
DMs are flooded.
want
My DMs are
DM.
flooded with people begging for consistency and less bullshit.
All two of them. All two people.
Come
in your
on,
DM.
Peter.
3. Do you have
I don't
people in
even
your
know if
DMs?
I don't
about
even know if I have DMs. I've never seen anything.
I'm pretty sure everybody.
Literally never
You have
seen-
a Twitter account.
I don't have a DM.
Of course, you have DMs.
Nobody's calling.
Nope.
Well, somebody should. Do you want to throw out your socials right now so that people can DM you?
Puck bucket girl.
On Twitter, she's also Jossie's real life. Is that
That's
your
spelled like real.
REEL?
But I quit posting on all sites.
Oh.
Except
Okay.
for Threads and Twitter.
It's called like having a job. I feel like I just stop posting when I'm busy.
I'm just sick and tired of all the people looking at my shit.
Wait, isn't that the point?
What?
So apparently, she just called out her handles for you to not go look at it.
Don't like
look
or follow
Look at
any
it.
of my accounts. Because I'm not posting
She's
anything.
sick of the fame. There's just too many people that know her. Around
Unless you
town.
know how I can find my DMs. Then you can text me.
There's a little icon on the bottom of your Twitter. Do you see this right here? Do you see that little envelope?
That's the
That's a
DMs.
DM
That's
right
where
there.
everyone's getting messages.
That's
Yeah,
the DM
do you have
right
a lot
there.
of unread?
Let's see. I have one.
I think I have. I do have a Twitter, but I've like posted on it like 4
I do
times.
have DMs. Look, Bo Markwick's in my DMs.
This has been Jossie's DM.
Yeah, and Bo is nothing but professional. 'Cause
Oh,
that-
God, yeah,
The,
this is all
the
not
connotation
done.
between
God,
being in
God,
somebody's DMs.
Why would you even think anything else? You
Because-
sickos? You freaking
I feel
sickos?
like the term "slid into my DMs" is like very like the connotations are bad.
I think you can only do that on Instagram, though.
Pretty sure Bo is happily married with children.
Yeah, no, there's
yeah,
no.
I'm
Let's
just
pretty
be
sure
clear.
Bo's
slide
happily
into
married.
Twitter DMs. I thought you only slid into DMs like on Instagram.
You can slide into anyone's DMs on any social.
Peter does it
platform.
all the time.
I've never Actually, I take that back. I have DM'd. It wasn't a woman though. It was something for work. I DM'd somebody looking for a picture of something.
Oh, I've DM'd people. I DM'd Franklin Pierce. We DM'd Franklin.
You DM'd Franklin Pierce.
I DM'd
Who is
Franklin Pierce.
Franklin Pierce.
It's a
It's
university.
a school.
I know, but like it sounds like a name.
It does. That's
It
why it was
is.
kind of funny when I said that a
I
little bit.
DM'd
President-
Franklin Pierce.
So I do
President
know how to use the
Franklin Pierce.
Instagram DMs.
Franklin Pierce was a
I
president.
have a friend from
wasn't he?
Dubai.
Isn't he like not a president? No.
Franklin Pierce.
Pierce,
he was the
he is,
14th
he is,
president
he
of the
is.
United
right
States.
before Buchanan, because I know the song.
A lot. Of
Wait, what song?
Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Adams, Jackson, Van Buren, Harrison, Tyler, Polk, and Taylor,
Continue.
and I don't remember the rest
And
of it.
our other friends. Is that how it goes?
And all the other presidents.
Who was
I
the,
forgot.
That's super efficient. That's
who
a lot.
was,
Right
who
in my
was the
alley.
37th president of the United States?
I don't think I can get that high.
Jimmy Carter.
Oh,
Okay,
wait, that
well,
was only like
learn the
7
song
presidents
again.
ago.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter.
Is it Jimmy Carter?
Guys,
I don't know if it's Jimmy
We're
Carter.
making a
R.I.P.
bunch
by
of
the way.
segments.
yeah,
This is President's Corner.
37th president. Click. Richard Nixon.
Oh, he's my favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
All right, cool.
Totally rational human being.
Well, I want to thank Dogwood Coffee.
Yes.
They could be the 48th president.
Thank you, Dogwood Coffee. You're the only reason we made it through.
The only reason this pod was 2.5 hours long or whatever.
It was an hour and 10.
It's an
Freaking
hour 10.
How do we
That's
keep
not even that bad.
lumbering on all
I
the
just
time?
think we are just such interesting people that we need more than an hour to
And
talk.
people don't realize that the three of us have been yik-yakking
We're
for
the
like
three
3
best friends
hours
that anyone could
at this
have.
point.
Three best
But
friends.
yes, 100% thank you to our sponsor, Dogwood Coffee. I am buzzing right now. I'm going to go home and get so much other work done. I don't know what work that's going to be.
you
Maybe
may
I'll
see
vacuum.
us at 2 a.m. when
You
we're
might see
live
us.
tweeting. So
2 a.m. on Saturday.
yep.
2 a.m. on Saturday. You might see us. But if you can, please watch the U18 Women's World Championships. If you want to see the next generation of women's hockey stars, this is where you get to see them first.